It's not exactly toasting hot, but then neither is it freezing cold. Probably just slightly below average temperatures for the time of year. It's certainly a vast improvement of what it's been over the last couple of weeks. I think we might be in for a belt of rain looking at the sky, but we shall see. And what's the worst that could happen? Let's get wet. By the look of things, the enemy is out in force today. The dreaded water skiing mallards. I just noticed a couple arriving in one of my favourite pools. But they've got more right to be here than I do. And it's actually, joking aside, it is actually really nice to see them doing so well. You might have been wondering why there's a loch featured in the opening shots of the video. A loch and swans and an osprey. That loch's actually one of the sources of this wee river, about 5 or 6 miles upstream from here, maybe a wee bit more than that. And it's a place we used to fish from when we were kids, but fishing has been banned there for a long time, since the late 70s, I believe. It's a nature reserve now, and as you can see for the wildlife in these shots, a very successful one. So it's a lovely place just to go for a walk and photograph the birds and whatever, but not fishing. That's definitely not allowed. In some ways it's a bit of a pain, because it was a great pike and perch fishery with huge perch. But I guess wildlife, nature reserves and fishing are sometimes not compatible, and that certainly seems to be the idea in that one anyway. So I'm going to start off in here. No sign of any fish rising, and a slight touch of colour in the water. So I'm going to start off fishing with a pair of nymphs. Well, not a pair of nymphs actually. A nymph on the tail, a weighted nymph on the tail, and a soft hackle spider on the dropper, and just see how it goes. If there's any sign of any surface activity, I'll switch over to dry fly. I think there's the odd fly hatching, but as I say, no sign of any fish activity as yet. Okay, I've switched that dry because I've noticed 1 or 2 fish rising, just the odd one here and there. And the nymphs are just not cutting it. Plus, a fish had a go at my indicator, which is almost a sign the fish are trying to tell you something. So anyway, I've switched that dry. A wee parachute Adams. We'll see what happens there. There we go. This is the one I saw rising earlier. It's not a bad fish by the look of it. Yeah, it's not a bad fish. It's not a bad fish for that. It looks like it's probably one of last year's stock fish. But a decent fish, must be over a pound anyway, maybe a pound and a half. And back it goes. So, that's one for the dry fly. Might as well have another couple of casts in here. Well, I think I'm going to try upriver a wee bit. So I will see you when I get there. Well, you join me again upstream. Good few miles I've driven up. I figured the water would be a bit clearer up here, which it is. And I just saw what looked like a half decent fish rise just in front of me as I arrived, and then it rose again. So I'm going to give it a go, just see what happens. It may have been nymphing, with the rise form it looked like it may have been nymphing, but I'm going to stick a dry over it anyway and see. We shall see. It's really nice here today. It really feels like springtime at last. Just saw fish rise again right at the edge here. I think it's roaming around this pool. I'll maybe have to leave this one and come back later. Yeah, there are one or two fish rising here, but they look pretty small. Anyway, I'll fish up the pool anyhow. And yep, they are tiny, and it's off. There's another one. This one's not quite so tiny. It's not going into record books, but at least it's not a complete tiddler. A nice wee wild trout. Right, I have another few casts here. The sprats are coming thick and fast. There we go. Bright wee fish. Certainly don't think there's any shortage of fish in this pool. Goodness me. And that was another one, and I just missed it. I didn't feel it though, so it might come back. They're certainly liking this parachute Adams. No, he's not coming back again. Oh, that one is up. Just another wee one. Yeah, just a babe. It's amazing the difference just a few inches of water makes to the fishing on this river. When it gets dead low, it gets dead difficult. And of course the temperature's well up to date. It must be 14 or 15 degrees. And plenty of flies hatching. So that just makes the whole experience a lot pleasanter. And what I might do, a couple of casts up the head of here, and then move on upstream a wee bit more. I enjoyed my loch fishing yesterday, but there's nothing quite beats the dry fly on light gear on a small stream like this. Others differ, of course, but that's the thing about fishing. It's just such an individual, personal thing. This is the river I started fishing on when I was a kid. So it's got a special place for me. It's a special place for me. It's got a special place in my heart. Oh. Another one. Barely saw that take there. Bonny wee fish. And away you go. Those who have been watching my videos will recognise this spot. It's much higher than it's been when I've previously filmed here. Oh, there was, oh my goodness me. That was a half decent fish. Took me totally unexpectedly. You think about it, that's a pretty dumb thing to say. It took unexpectedly. What do you expect if you're fishing? What I should have said was I wasn't paying attention. Insufficient concentration. Go. Just a wee one, I think. Oh, average. Oh, just a bonny wee fish. Yeah, the fish are certainly keen this afternoon. For an afternoon it is, it's, what time is it? 1:05. Very slow to start with, and the nymph fishing just wasn't doing it at all. You can't beat the dry fly. Just saw a fish rising, that branch over there that sticks out into the current, just to this side of it. I don't think it was a very big one, but we'll stick a fly over it anyhow. Oh, and there was a wee one there. Oh my goodness. Fall off. That wasn't supposed to happen, that was not in the script. Well, I made a complete hash of that. Let's see if I can make a complete hash of this. It's just part of fishing though, making a hash of things. Another wee one. Oh my goodness me, it's acrobatic. It's actually a real sign that the water's warming up. The fish are moving into the faster water. Well, I'm going to have a few more casts here and then nip back down to that slack water where I saw what I thought was a better fish rising. Plunk myself down and just watch. See if I can get a chance at it. Because it's fun catching these wee things, but it's even more fun catching big things. Or not, as the case may be. Been watching that one rise, and I've covered it time and time again. I got it eventually. It's hardly worth the trouble. Yeah, that's fine, that's off. Well, that's me back down to this area of slack water where I saw what I thought was a better fish rise a couple of times earlier on. So I'm just going to sit myself down here and watch the water and see if I can see any action. And if the fish puts in an appearance, cover it and see how we got on. So let's see how it goes. Well, I'm afraid it was a no-show for that fish down there. I had a muesli bar and sat for about half an hour. There was no sign of anything at all, totally dead. And there were flies coming down, so it's maybe moved off to pastures new, maybe spooked it the last time. So what I'm going to do is have a few casts in here, and then probably call it a day. So we'll have a few casts. There's still one or two wee fish here. See them rising. Well, it appears to have died a death. There's still plenty of flies hatching, but no fish rising, and that tends to be the way it goes. So I think I'll just wind the video up there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you hopefully in the next one, whenever that may be. Bye for now.